The city was still asleep when Aarav woke up. The air outside was calm, but inside his head a storm was raging. Thoughts, doubts, worries, all spinning around like a broken record. He sat on the edge of his bed, staring at the wall, wondering, why can't I stop thinking? Every day was the same. Endless noise inside his mind. Voices of failure, fear, and confusion. He was tired, not of the world, but of himself. Aarav had once been full of dreams. He wanted to build something, to become someone. But somewhere along the way, he got lost. In overthinking, in what people said, in what he feared might happen. Now, even a small decision felt like a mountain. One morning, he walked out without a plan. He just wanted silence. His steps led him to a quiet park outside the city, a place he hadn't visited in years. There, under an old tree, sat an old man, calm, still, and peaceful, as if the world's noise never reached him. Aarav stopped and watched. The man's eyes were closed, his breathing slow. Minutes passed. Aarav couldn't help but ask, "Sir, what are you doing? How do you sit so still?" The old man opened his eyes and smiled softly. "I'm listening," he said. "To what?" Aarav asked. "To nothing. That's where peace begins." Aarav frowned. "Listening to nothing? I don't understand." The old man looked at him gently. "Your mind is full of fear, full of noise, full of what doesn't matter. Empty it. Only then will you hear what truly matters." Those words struck something deep inside Aarav. For the first time, someone had described exactly what he felt. He sat beside the old man. They both stayed silent, only the sound of wind moving through leaves around them. Minutes turned into an hour. Something strange happened. Aarav's thoughts started to slow down. The noise was still there, but softer. He felt lighter, calmer. Before leaving, the old man said one last thing. "The world won't change for you, but your mind, that can change everything." That night, Aarav couldn't sleep. The old man's words echoed in his head. Empty your mind. How? Why? What did it really mean? He didn't know. But one thing was clear. The next morning he would return to that park. The next morning Aarav returned to the park. The air felt fresh, filled with the scent of grass and early sunlight. He looked around, and there the old man was again, sitting under the same tree, eyes closed, like a rock in the middle of a flowing river. Aarav slowly approached. "Sir," he said softly, "I came back. I want to learn how to empty my mind." The old man opened his eyes, smiled, and nodded. "Good. But remember, I can't teach you. You must discover it yourself." Aarav sat down beside him. "Then, where do I start?" The old man looked toward the rising sun. "Start by watching. Not the world. Watch yourself. Watch your thoughts come and go. Don't fight them, don't follow them, just watch." Aarav tried, but his mind jumped like a restless monkey. He thought about work, about bills, about his mistakes. Every few seconds, a new thought pulled him away. He sighed in frustration. "It's not working," he muttered. The old man chuckled softly. "You're not failing. You're just seeing how noisy your mind truly is." Aarav frowned. "So what do I do when these thoughts don't stop?" The old man's answer was simple. You stop chasing them. Let them pass like clouds in the sky. The sky never fights the storm. It waits. Those words stayed in Aarav's heart. For the next few days, he returned every morning. At first, silence felt like a battle. Every time he closed his eyes, his mind screamed louder, but he kept trying. Slowly, something began to change. He noticed small things, the sound of birds, the rhythm of his own breath, the warmth of sunlight on his skin. The noise inside started to lose its power. One morning, while sitting quietly, he felt something strange, stillness. His thoughts didn't disappear, but they no longer controlled him. For a few seconds, he felt completely present. No past, no future, just this moment. When he opened his eyes, the old man was smiling. "You see?" he said. Peace was never missing. You were just too full to feel it. Aarav felt tears in his eyes. I wasted so many years fighting my own mind. The old man shook his head. No time is wasted if you learn from it. The mind is a powerful tool, but only when it serves you, not when it rules you. That day, Aarav realized silence wasn't emptiness. It was space. Space for peace, for focus, for life itself. As he stood to leave, the old man said, "Remember this, Aarav. A mind that is empty is not lost. It is free." Aarav walked away, feeling something he hadn't felt in years. Peace. But he didn't know that his biggest test was still to come. Days turned into weeks, and Aarav kept visiting the old man every morning. The noise in his head had slowly faded. He could sit quietly, breathe deeply, and feel peace within himself. Life around him was still the same. The busy streets, the loud world, the endless rush. But something inside Aarav had changed. He was calmer, lighter, more alive. But peace, as he soon learned, is tested in chaos. One evening, Aarav received a call. It was from his office. His company was going through a financial crisis. Projects were failing, and employees were being let go. Aarav's manager wanted to meet him the next morning. The tone was cold, almost final. That night, the storm returned. Thoughts attacked him again. What if I lose my job? How will I pay the bills? What will people think? He tried to breathe, but fear took control. His heart raced, his chest tightened. It was like all his progress vanished in a single night. The next morning, he didn't go to the park. He sat on his balcony feeling helpless. But then he remembered the old man's words. The sky never fights the storm. It waits. He closed his eyes and whispered, "Okay, storm. Do your worst. I'll wait." Minutes passed. His mind screamed, but he didn't run. He let every fear appear and disappear. Slowly, the noise started to lose power again. He opened his eyes and felt calm. Later that day, Aarav went to the office. The atmosphere was heavy. Everyone looked tense. When his name was called, he entered the manager's cabin. The manager looked tired. "Aarav, you've been one of our best workers. But right now the company can't keep everyone, I'm sorry." Aarav took a deep breath. For a moment, silence filled the room. Then he said, "It's okay, sir. Thank you for everything." The manager looked surprised. "You're taking this well." Aarav smiled. "I used to fight every situation. Now I try to understand it." He left the office with no anger, no panic, only peace. The world hadn't ended. He was still breathing, he was still free. That evening he returned to the park. The old man was there, waiting, as if he knew. Aarav sat beside him and said quietly, "I lost my job today." The old man nodded. "And what did you find?" Aarav thought for a moment, then said, "Peace, and myself." The old man smiled. "Then you lost nothing." As the sun set behind the trees, Aarav realized something powerful. An empty mind doesn't mean a weak one. It means a mind strong enough to stay calm in chaos. That night, for the first time, Aarav didn't fear tomorrow. He simply trusted it. The next morning, Aarav didn't wake up to an alarm. There was no office to go to, no deadlines, no meetings. For the first time in years, he had time and silence. He sat near the window, watching sunlight fill his small apartment. The city outside was rushing, but inside everything felt slow and peaceful. Yet a small question kept echoing in his mind. What now? Aarav had spent his whole life chasing goals others gave him. But now, with nothing left to chase, he felt strangely free. He decided to visit the park again. The old man was there, sitting as always, still and calm. Aarav bowed slightly and sat beside him. "I lost my job," Aarav said quietly, "but I don't feel broken. I just don't know what to do next." The old man smiled. "When the cup is empty, you can fill it with anything you want. Your mind is empty now. So what will you fill it with? Aarav stayed silent. He didn't know the answer. The old man continued. Peace is not the end. It's the beginning. Once your mind is clear, your heart starts to speak. Listen to it. That sentence stayed in Aarav's mind like a seed planted deep inside. Listen to your heart. For days, he wandered around the city. He watched people, tired, angry, lost in their own storms, and he thought, I used to be like them. He realized how powerful even a little peace could be. One afternoon, Aarav saw a group of young people in the park. They looked stressed, talking about their problems and how life felt meaningless. Aarav walked closer and joined their conversation. He didn't give advice. He just listened, calmly, patiently. When he finally spoke, his words came from a place of stillness. You don't have to fix everything today, he said. Sometimes you just need to empty your mind and breathe. The group went quiet. One girl asked softly, How do you do that? Aarav smiled. By stopping the fight with your thoughts. By letting silence be your teacher. That day, something changed. Aarav realized his peace could help others. He didn't need a fancy job or title. He had something more powerful, understanding. In the following weeks, people began to come to him in the park. Students, workers, strangers, and all looking for calm. Aarav would talk with them, guide them, or simply sit with them in silence. He had unknowingly become a teacher, not by choice but by example. When the old man saw this, he said with a proud smile, You have emptied your mind, Aarav. Now you are ready to fill hearts. Aarav looked at the sunset and whispered. Aarav's days had changed completely. Every morning he walked to the same park, not to learn now but to share. People started recognizing him as the calm man under the old tree. Some came to talk, some just to sit in silence beside him. He never asked for anything. He only listened. And somehow people felt lighter after meeting him. One day, a young man named Rahul came to the park. His eyes were full of anger and pain. He sat far from Aarav but kept glancing at him. Aarav noticed, smiled gently, and gestured for him to come closer. Rahul hesitated, then walked over. I've lost everything, he said, his voice shaking. My job, my friends, my peace. I'm angry all the time. I don't even know who I am anymore. Aarav looked at him quietly for a few moments before saying, When water is muddy, you can't see your reflection. But if you let it stay still, it clears on its own. Rahul frowned. So you're saying, I should just do nothing? Aarav smiled. Not nothing. Just stop fighting everything. Sit with yourself. Let silence do its work. Rahul didn't understand, but something in Aarav's calmness touched him. He promised to return the next day. And he did, not once, but every morning after. Slowly, his anger began to fade. He started smiling again. One day he said, I don't know how, but I feel lighter. Like I was carrying a heavy bag all my life and just dropped it. Aarav nodded. That bag was your noise. You finally let it go. News of Aarav's park sessions started spreading. People began calling the place the Circle of Stillness. Some came with stress, others with heartbreak, but all left with one thing, peace. Yet life always tests peace in unexpected ways. One afternoon, as Aarav sat with his small group, a man suddenly shouted at him from afar, You think sitting under a tree makes you wise? You're just running away from the real world. Everyone froze. The man's anger was sharp, his voice loud. Aarav didn't reply immediately. He simply looked at the man, calm, gentle, unshaken. After a pause, he said softly, I'm not running away from the world. I'm learning how not to be destroyed by it. The man stared for a moment, speechless, and slowly walked away. The group around Aarav sat in silence, not fearful, but inspired. That day, Rahul whispered, How did you stay so calm when he shouted at you? Aarav smiled, because his words were just noise, and my mind was already empty. As the sun dipped behind the trees, the wind carried a deep stillness around them. Peace had become Aarav's daily life. The park, the people, The quiet mornings. Everything felt calm and meaningful. He had learned how to control his thoughts, how to stay still even when the world was loud. But life always sends one last test to see if your lessons are real. One evening, Aarav received a phone call that shook him to the core. His mother had fallen seriously ill. She was admitted to the hospital and the doctor said the condition was critical. For the first time in months, Aarav's hands trembled. His heart began to race, and his mind, once calm, filled again with fear. He rushed to the hospital, the sound of sirens and machines echoing through the halls. When he saw his mother lying weak on the bed, tears filled his eyes. Memories came flooding back, her laughter, her warmth, her words of encouragement. He sat beside her, holding her hand tightly. For a long time he didn't speak. Inside, a battle had begun, between peace and pain. The old man's voice echoed in his memory. The sky never fights the storm, it waits. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. Wait, Aarav, wait. He didn't try to stop his tears. He let them flow, but he didn't let fear take over. Slowly, his breathing calmed. He whispered softly to himself, "Empty your mind, not your heart." For the next few days, he stayed at the hospital. He barely slept, but every night he sat quietly in the corner, breathing, staying calm for his mother. He talked to the nurses kindly, comforted other families, and even smiled when doctors gave updates, good or bad. One night, the doctor approached and said, "She's stable now, she's getting better." Aarav smiled faintly, his eyes filled with relief. He looked at his mother, sleeping peacefully, and whispered, "You fought well, Ma." In that moment, he realized something powerful. Peace doesn't mean no pain. It means not losing yourself in pain. When his mother woke up, she looked weak but smiled at him. "You didn't cry like before," she said softly. Aarav laughed gently. "I did, Ma, just inside. But I also learned to be still." She held his hand tighter. "You've changed, Aarav. You look free." He smiled. "Maybe I finally emptied my mind enough to fill it with love." When he returned to the park after many days, people greeted him with joy. Have you ever felt stuck, like you've hit a wall in your career or personal life? What if I told you the key to breaking through isn't working harder, but thinking differently? It all starts with a simple but powerful idea: your mindset. Think about it. On one side, you have the fixed mindset, the voice that says, "This is just how I am." On the other, the growth mindset whispers, "What can I learn from this?" It's the difference between seeing a dead end and seeing a new beginning. The secret isn't being perfect. It's about making progress, one step at a time. Let's break down the 3 most powerful shifts you can make today. First, flip the script from "I can't" to "I can learn." Imagine someone like Alex who's been told he's not a natural leader. Instead of accepting that, he could reframe it. "Okay, I can learn leadership skills." This simple switch opens up a world of possibilities. It's not about having the talent right now. It's about believing you have the capacity to develop it. Second, shift your focus from chasing outcomes to building systems. We all want to achieve big goals, right? But obsessing over the finish line can be paralyzing. Take May, an aspiring artist. Instead of stressing about selling her first masterpiece, she focuses on a system: paint for 1 hour every single day. The outcome becomes a natural byproduct of her consistent habits, not a source of constant pressure. What daily system can you build? And the third shift? It's a big one. Move from fearing failure to embracing feedback. Failure feels final, but what if it's just data? Jamal, a developer, could see a bug in his code as a total disaster, or he could see it as crucial feedback telling him exactly where to improve. Each failure is just one iteration on the path to success. It's a lesson, not a loss. So, how do you actually apply this? It's simpler than you think. Start by setting a learning goal for the week. Maybe it's mastering a new recipe or understanding a new software feature. Keep a journal and track your small wins. Every single one counts. And when you hit a setback, and you will, consciously reframe it. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? Instead of, Why did this happen to me? Your growth journey doesn't require a giant leap. It starts with a single step, a single mindset shift. The power of compounding is real. Small changes today lead to massive transformations over time. So here is my challenge to you. Pick just one of these shifts to commit to for the rest of the day. Will you turn an I can't into an I can learn? Or will you focus on your system instead of the outcome? Let me know in the comments which one you're choosing. Thanks so much for watching. If this resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content on building a better you. See you in the next one.